All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Live SEO Support, your favorite live SEO Q&A live stream. We can ask questions, we answer those questions, and you become a better SEO. Everyone makes a lot of money. Everyone is happy. That's why you join us. That's why we're here to help you. How you doing today, Nick?
Has anybody ever told you that you would make a great stewardess? Because I was just on, I think, 8 different airplanes on this last trip. So 2 weeks, 8 airplanes.
Hmm.
And I noticed when like a,
It's a lot of wasted time. Actually, I really hate flying now because it wastes
no,
so
no,
much
I do
time.
too. But in there, right, you got to find your silver linings. And one of them was how good. And I can tell you, it was my trip from Santa Cruz to Cochabamba. There was this woman, I don't remember her name right now, but she had this spectacular voice. It went along the lines of what you just did, but didn't quite bleed through as much. It was quite breathtaking. There's an art form to talking on a microphone.
Well,
Definitely does well.
thanks for
And you've
sharing,
got it.
Nick, and
You
I
have a
do
little
appreciate it.
ASMR
Thank you for that.
situation going. And for those of you that don't know, while he tries to downplay this, Chris listens to ASMR videos while he goes to sleep or
Not every
goes to
time,
work
but if I
out or
need to
whatever the
fall
hell he
asleep,
does.
they'll put me to sleep real fast.
Anyhow, you get the point here. So yeah,
But not the
great
talking
intro
ones. They
and
can't have talking.
nice movement of voice, I think.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and get
How do I
started.
feel? No, no, no. How do I feel?
Huh?
Like I'm about to be sick? Pretty miserable to be here. I just wanted everybody out there to know because I am going to
God.
be head in the clouds, and I'm just being honest on this live
All
stream,
right.
you know.
All right. You
Here we
ready?
go. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we
Let's do it.
go. We're just gonna get started, guys. Like Nick said, he's sick. We're gonna try to get to as many questions as we can. We have a shit ton in the backlog. So yeah, we're just gonna start flying through stuff. If you're in the chat, ask them. We'll get to them.
Rock and roll.
Do you recommend Facebook ads for marketing and SEO services? What about Google ads? I've seen you have been doing both. Yeah, we recommend both. They're both great. You can run ads pretty much anywhere. You can run YouTube ads. You can run Twitter ads. You can run LinkedIn ads. We haven't tried LinkedIn yet. We haven't tried Twitter either. We're predominantly on Facebook and Google. Both are great.
What's interesting? Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's interesting is they're saying that they've seen both.
Both of our
We only
ads.
just started redoing our kind of Google campaign. Um, Facebook for sure. Huge proponent of it because it gives you an edge
Good
in the
targeting.
sense of like creative versatility, right? So if you like playing, even if you're not that sophisticated with creating ads, you can get on something like Canva.com and come up with different ideas, and they will yield movement, right? Google, you're typically limited to text unless you're talking about display ads. Still great, great thing to be in. But yeah, I keep saying that if I had to go back and talk to my younger self about just jumping into SEO, I'd say spend a little bit more time on ads as it can yield a return a lot quicker. And even though it sounds expensive at first, if you're good at playing around with these creative ideas, I think that especially Google and Facebook and YouTube, if you're good at video, you can definitely make a buck off of what you're
Yes,
spending.
ads are good. Instant returns. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose money. If you know what you're doing, you're going to make money. They're great. They drive traffic to your site. Google says that ads shouldn't impact your search performance, but we think they're lying. We think ads actually can help your search performance, like your organic listings. So yeah, ads all around are great. Um, yeah,
Would
you're in
say
marketing and SEO, so yeah, absolutely. It's kind of higher ticket items. Can definitely work.
yeah.
Anything else,
Would say
Nick?
don't be scared if you're not really like sure what you're getting involved in. All these major ad platforms have um, people that'll guide you through it as soon as you sign up, as soon as you start paying in. You'll get an email saying, "Hey, I'm your client rep for said advertising. I've got ways to help you." You get on the phone with them, and they genuinely will. Even if you're more knowledgeable than them, which I've noticed does happen, they will get the answers that you're looking for. So, definitely worthwhile.
All right. I bought a domain/blog and I am building out content on it. Link provided via DM. So I already kind of read these. I don't think we even need to look at it really. I can
Okay.
see there's a lot of spam anchors and backlinks going to the site, but some of them are actually from high authority websites. I can also see that the DA dropped a ton in December and January, as did traffic, but the traffic recovered and now the DA hasn't recovered. It's SEMrush's rating. Should I ignore all the spam stuff for now? Any general thoughts about it? Yeah, so the same stuff stands for basically anything, anytime we talk about spam and disavowing, right? Like you said, traffic and rankings are the most important thing, but spam backlinks aren't the only thing that affects that. If you're sure that the spam that you like, you're really sure that you think it's the spam backlinks that caused it, you can start disavowing. But just be aware that if you don't really know what you're doing, you might end up disavowing some stuff that could end up that's actually helping you. So we really can't recommend disavowing unless you really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you said your traffic recovered. So what's even the point of disavowing at this point, right? You could end up hurting yourself and your traffic's back to where it used to be. So I'd probably go ahead and just say, because you're asking this question, I might stay away from it, and not disavow. Just not worry about it. Move forward building quality links, and dilute your anchor profile that way rather than trying to disavow. If you were the more experienced person, you really knew what you were looking for, and you really knew exactly what links to disavow. Some people like to disavow proactively, but I don't think I can recommend it in this situation. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, agree completely. If you're not sure what you're doing, disavow can definitely hurt you even further.
Yeah, and it's like,
So,
what's even the gain at this point since he got his traffic back?
right.
Um, you
Yeah,
just move
and
forward most likely.
I'll tell you this, at least at this point in time, there are a lot, I don't know what you're involved in, but if it's affiliate marketing or something like that, there is a lot of volatility going on. And to me, it seems like that's probably like part of the play is just get used to a little bit of volatility. Keep doing what you're doing if you know what you're doing is accurate and what you're supposed to be doing. So proper backlinking, proper content creation, etc. But yeah, disavow can be a topsy-turvy kind of thing, and typically we say don't mess with it unless you're 100% sure that's what you need to do.
All right. On this website I bought, the homepage seems to be cannibalizing some of the other pages' search queries. As you can see, there's a list of names on the homepage that is also similar to a list on another of my main pages that do well. There's also links to all of the articles that are posted on the site in order of newest posts. Should I remove this list of items and just have links to posts I create? Will that pass link juice to this post and stop cannibalization of search queries going there instead of the actual page they should go to?
Mm. Kind of interesting because I feel like today we interviewed Israel Gaudet,
Yeah.
and schema might be something worth looking into, but especially given what you're saying, it sounds like, yeah, you are kind of double dipping in areas. Like typically if you want each page within your website to be concise, right? Like so if your homepage is a hub page that is generating, so there's crawlers, they come to your homepage, they're crawling through, and if the same information is on your homepage as on an inner page that you're trying to rank, there's going to be a bit of confusion there. What it sounds like, though, is that at least your website is authoritative and, getting indexed in the top positions in SERPs, but there is a bit of confusion going on there. I would personally not have the same information on any two pages.
It can
I would try
happen,
and
but yeah, I mean, if
it
you're really
can
trying to
happen,
rank it
right?
on
But
another page, then you can take it off the homepage most likely, or you can just have a little
if
blurb
the
about what
homepage
the
is
list is and
ranking,
just link it without actually having the list.
yeah. But
Um,
if the homepage is ranking, would you feel comfortable messing with that, Chris?
it depends what the keyword is. It depends like
Right?
how wrong it is. I would
Or how
probably
much money you're making off it?
I would yeah I would it would bother me a lot. I'd want to fix it for sure. I know it'd bother me. But yeah, I mean, you can fix it. You just have to like show Google. So you want to de-optimize your homepage for the terms. You want to uh, optimize more the other pages you want to rank for those terms. You can use interlinking, like you can use like an exact match anchor from your homepage to the page you want to rank, like with that term to really help. Um, we were just talking, like Nick said, we were talking to Israel on the podcast yesterday, which hasn't gone live yet. We'll post it on Tuesday or something. And you can actually use schema as well to try to fight cannibalization issues, which is something kind of interesting I've never thought about before.
We're bad at it.
You can even use backlinks with some like exact match anchors or something close. Just be sure you're not over optimizing your backlink anchor text to the pages that you want to rank for certain terms. And Google will eventually figure it out if you're doing things correctly. Um, you don't have to really worry about doing any kind of like crazy tricks or anything, especially if you don't have like some like monster site with a bunch of like I'm thinking about kind of like programmatic SEO sites. Sometimes they have issues with this kind of thing just because they have so many URLs that are kind of similar. Um, but yeah, in your case, I'm sure it'll be fine. You just gotta kind of get things the way they should and give Google a little bit of time. It should eventually work out for you. Anything else to add on that one?
I don't think so. Yeah, you just got to make some hardline decisions.
All right, really flying through these. I bought a second site to redirect to the main blog I bought. However, it was originally HTML. I redirected that to a non-HTML structure and built out basic content and let it sit for 2 to 3 months and then redirected the main blog via acquisition page. Is that the end of the question? Or is there one more line? Okay, here we go. I missed the last part. You got all that so far, Nick?
Yeah,
You're going to be answering this one. However,
great.
I think he even mentions you. However, I think I saw Nick saying that HTML URLs don't pass on the link juice. Is that correct? I've seen a 30 to 40% uptick in impressions over the past 3 to 4 days. Redirect maybe 1 to 2 weeks ago. But this could just be the content kicking in. If it is correct about not passing link juice, am I okay to remove this redirect and add a new one straight away? Should I buy the new domain to redirect?
So I would say don't mess with removing any redirect. I can't tell you that like there's any tests I know of or that I've done that weren't saying that HTML tags don't or URLs don't pass link juice. I think Google crawlers are intuitive enough, intelligent enough to understand when there's a relay, but as far as creating like a concise redirect to a page from a HTML based page, um, I don't know of a way to do it. But that's not to say that Google doesn't understand that this page is supposed to redirect to this page or have an idea of how that's supposed to work. So if you're getting positive results, I would just stick to what you're doing. And then with this new redirect, if it's not HTML based, then yeah, you just do permalink to permalink, or if you're on WordPress, a 404 to relevant page plugin or something like that. But ultimately, it sounds like this is taking pretty well. You're probably pretty niche relevant, and I wouldn't ever consider at this point in time removing a 301. Just leave it as it lies and then move forward. And that would be my recommendation with any 301 that you do. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and answer a few from YouTube and Facebook, and then we'll get back to this long list we got from beforehand. Uh,
Nice question
so
we
this
got
one's
coming in.
actually from Chris, whose podcast we're going to be going on soon. So
Okay,
yeah,
right
cool to see
on.
you here, man. And yeah, we're excited to be on the pod soon with
That'll
you.
be our first podcast we are
Yeah,
actually invited to and on versus people that we've invited on.
yeah.
Pretty exciting stuff.
All right, here we go. I acquired a site with no distinct silo structure, just a flat structure overall. Have you seen an internal linking overhaul to build a stronger, more well-defined silos fixing traffic stagnation? So yeah, so basically there's two kinds of silos. There's like what we call a virtual silo, which means that the URL structure does not matter, which is like what we have on our website, sirlinksalot.co. If you notice, we don't have any kind of structure set in the URL. So it's never like sirlinksalot.co/backlinks/guest posts. It's just everything is just one layer deep. It's sirlinksalot.co/guest posts/blog title/service page, whatever. It's just one deep. And the way that we do the silo is with only interlinking. That being said, we also don't do like super strict silos like a lot of people do. A lot of people, they'll be like, okay, well, this is my link building silo. So I'm going to really dial it in and make sure that every one of these link building articles like really connect to each other and then connect to the parent. So we're not like super duper strict with interlinking. But I'll also say that it's probably not a bad idea. Like if you really want to sit down, like map out your interlinks, I definitely think that they are an extremely powerful thing. And I think that really they've gotten stronger in the past like year or two. I've seen some pretty insane results just from kind of beefing up the interlinking doing on sites. Um, so yeah, if you don't have any kind of interlinking structure at all, like not a real URL structure, but let's just say you don't have the URL structure, but you also don't have the virtual silos, and they haven't really thought out like your blog articles really don't link to enough like relevant stuff. Then you could say I think like a massive gain from just doing some solid interlinking. But if it does have a virtual silo, I mean you could still benefit by kind of mapping it out a little bit further and just doing some more interlinks in there to kind of flesh out the silo a little bit more. But yeah, you don't really need to do any kind of actual silo with the URL structure if you don't want to. That'd be a lot of headache as well because then you're going to be doing a lot of like redirects and stuff. I usually just stay virtual silo and I like to keep things super shallow, like one level deep, domain.com/whatever title. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah, so sure. I agree that one level deep is the way that I've always been building things. If I consider a silo, then I'm considering like more so the category pages which fit under, if you're changing the way that WordPress uses category pages, so that it's only one silo deep, it's still going to be categorized under hub pages, right? And I think that there's like enough intuition with Google bots again, to understand that. But today we talked to Israel Gaudet, and he was talking about how he creates ideas for entities using Wikipedia. And this is kind of like just a new thing based on the question that you're asking, where I'm like, well, if that's the way it works, then hypothetically, like it would be worthwhile to do what Chris just said, which is have these silos where even if you're not just completely interlinking between subject matter of like, let's say categories, um, having the majority of interlinking within that silo would create
I mean,
more
more is generally
niche.
better.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
but like this is something that I
Well,
hadn't
let's not get
considered
too crazy.
necessarily because like I am all over the place whenever I interlink, right? Like it's just like, okay, this article I'm going to interlink over here because it makes sense to interlink there. But
So he also mentioned they basically just used Link Whisper and sprayed links everywhere, which is kind of what you're talking about.
yeah,
And Link Whisper is definitely a great start, but you can always do it better, essentially.
no, I know. But talking about like from an engineering perspective, like I just feel like, okay, fine. If we're talking like semantic mastery or something along those lines, maybe there is a test that could be done. And I'm not saying like I'm willing to do it. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But it's just something interesting that only due to this question coming up, I started thinking about what Israel is talking about with Wikipedia.
For sure. But yeah, like you
Yeah,
said, they already use Link Whisper, so which means they're linking to relevant stuff from the articles. Link
yeah.
Whisper, we do use Link Whisper, but it's definitely not perfect. So
Well, it's
yeah,
definitely not silo based
it's
either,
not silo
right? Like
based,
it's
but
just
you
like,
are
yeah,
linking the relevant stuff. So it's definitely like a
yeah,
great start compared to someone who's not doing internal
yeah.
linking. And I will say that
Chris and I have no problem ranking, so
yeah, but
yeah,
I will say
it's
that
working. But
if they just used Link Whisper and sprayed everywhere, you could definitely get some benefit from going in and refining things a bit more and like getting things more relevant to you're gonna have a better understanding of the site than Link Whisper. Like Link Whisper, it does a decent job if you really don't know what you're doing, but if you know your site well and you really know like what your silos are and your sections are and what makes sense to link from what, you will always do a better job than Link Whisper. And so I'd definitely say you're leaving some juice on the table, and Google would better understand your site by beefing things up a bit yourself.
yeah,
Yeah, hopefully that helped, man. And yeah, we'll hopefully be talking to you here pretty soon. See what we, oh yeah, I answer a couple of Facebook questions real quick. Do you know what web stories are, Nick?
no.
Yes, Mahesh asked how to recover web stories traffic. I'm just not sure what that is, so don't know if we can help you on that one, man. But if you can explain what it is, maybe we just don't know the words you're using.
Is that like Instagram or Facebook stories
I don't
for
know. Web stories?
Google or
I'm
something?
not
I don't
sure.
know.
Can we use AI content if it is useful, but in originality.ai shows AI content? Content is fully informative as my expertise. Yeah, so we get this question a lot, and my suggestion now is just completely ignore AI checkers. I mean, we've been saying that kind of from the beginning because in the beginning, when this really started hitting the ground and things were moving really fast, people were kind of using AI checkers for a minute. But now I think the consensus in the entire SEO community is these checkers don't matter. And I wish
Yeah,
I didn't have to say that because Originality has a pretty nice affiliate program and we could just plug them on every podcast and make some money, which is, I think, what a lot
right.
of people were doing, which is why you know the name Originality.ai because they have an awesome affiliate program. Sorry, Originality, and we're not trying to knock on your service. We don't know it that well, but we don't think these checkers are necessary at all. Not just Originality, but we don't think AI checkers in general really need to be
Did
used. What's up?
did Matt use Matt Diggity? I think recently put out a post where he AI checked the oh my gosh,
Constitution.
was it the
Well,
Constitution?
that was my post, but yeah, so AI the AI checkers are saying the Constitution is written by AI, and they do it with a bunch of stuff, and you can like completely change the score by adding in like paragraphs and stuff. It's just anyway, the Google seems to have kind of just given up on AI, and their new policy, which you can see in their own guidelines on Google's website, is that content, it doesn't matter how it's created as long as basically it helps the user, the reader, the searcher, and that it adds something new to the conversation. So basically they don't want things that have just been repeated a bunch of times. So basically you could do that. You could get yourself in the same kind of trouble as using a low-end content writer who's basically going and looking at the top articles and then just rewriting them in a different way. That is essentially what AI is doing as well. AI just tends to do it better and faster and cheaper. So what we say about AI is don't worry about originality or any of the content or the AI checkers. You can use AI to write content, but it's a very, very good idea to go in and edit the content to add some kind of unique perspective to it. Yeah, and don't just copy and paste it. Some people are doing it and some people can find success with it, but it's more of a black hat thing to just copy and paste. And we can't really recommend it as far as long-term success and something that's completely safe to do. So yeah, what we would recommend is just editing and adding a bit to it, and yeah, going from there. Don't worry about the content, the AI checkers. Anything to add, Nick?
Set.
Huh?
No, all set.
Cool. Um, Lucian says, yes, Matt Diggity posted, I made $460 an hour as a freelance writer, but I used AI and checked his articles with originality and got 85% original. Yeah, it just, the scores are everywhere. And even if the scores were correct, it doesn't seem to matter. Google just wants them to be helpful. They just care, like, so Google's product is, search. They users come to their website, they type in a keyword and a question or whatever, and they want to give the user an answer, and then they want the user to be happy with that answer. That's the essence of Google's search product. So if your content is written by AI and it makes the user happy, Google does not seem to care. They're still providing a good product as far as they're concerned. The end user is happy. But if you're just kind of redoing the same thing that's already been done a million times and the user's looking around to find new information, it's just the same thing over and over again, Google would say this is not helpful content, and so we don't want to rank you, right? Yeah, they just want to make their searchers happy. Okay, sorry.
Wow, quite the popular show we got going on today, huh?
Well, a bunch of these were asked beforehand in the group.
No, I was looking at the views
Okay.
on your thing.
Yeah, guys, got any questions? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. We haven't been here for a while, so we got a bunch of questions in the backlog and audits and whatnot, but we will try to give priority to the live questions first. We're just going to kind of fly through these things. All right, so this is kind of a continuation from one of the questions before. With the spam links mentioned above, I am getting some hits on those pages leading to 404s. I have also sent you a screenshot of those 404s. I saw Kyle Roof mention previously to limit 404s as much as possible. So that I redirect these spam URLs to my homepage. So we actually use a plugin. We like to use a plugin called, I forget what it's called, but it's like Auto 301 redirect or something to similar post.
Auto 301 or Auto 404 redirect to similar post. Yeah,
it's just a WordPress plugin, and it automatically, if you have a website, like, so if you go to sirlinksalot.co and you just do sirlinksalot.co/Nick is a little hairy monster, and obviously we don't have that URL.
I like it.
We don't have that URL.
I need to look up what that goes to.
So we obviously don't have that URL on our website, but it doesn't matter, because no matter what URL you try to visit on our website, it's going to automatically take you to what it thinks is the most similar URL to that. So we'll see what Nick says. I guess I could do it on the live stream, show people.
Yeah, that too. I just clicked it. What is metadata? A Practical Guide by Chris Jesus.
Here, 1 second. Oops. I will show it just because it's kind of funny.
We'll say that, like, though,
cool.
This is just a way to make sure that you're not, quote, wasting link juice. But if you really have gone into, let's say, Ahrefs or something comparable, and you see these URLs that are 404ing, they've got a significant amount of backlinks going to them, then find something that you think is comparable.
Yeah, the same one.
Especially at the URL level. I would say it's better for you to do it up front. The reason that we like using this plugin is a failsafe, exactly. But ultimately, it's like, typically when I start off and I'm redirecting a new domain that I bought to a affiliate site or something like that, I'm going to be looking at the top X amount of URLs that get enough press in the form of referring domains going to them that I want to save that I think are, warrant enough attention, and I'm going to do that manually. And then this plugin helps take care of the rest of that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep, like Nick said, limiting 404s is definitely a good idea. And, it shows Google that you're taking care of your website. This would be a technical SEO issue. Definitely want to limit your 404s, get them cleaned up, do as much manually as you can, redirect them where possible, and then you can use the plugin as the fail-safe. Anything else, Nick?
No, I mean, I talk about that in the big case study that I put out.
Yeah, you could look up Nick's, if you look on our website. So you could go to Slinkslot and you could just do slinkslot.co/affiliate case study, something like that. And you'll automatically get redirected to Nick's affiliate case study, most likely, even if the URL isn't exact, because the title is something similar, right? But yeah, you can go look at Nick's case study for more info. And yeah, definitely recommend the plugin. It's pretty cool. But yeah, we also redirect as much possible manually as we can. Don't like to leave it just with a plugin.
Yeah.
And it's free, which is nice.
Yeah. And you run into, you'll find the more plugins you use for redirects over time, you'll run into issues, whether that's from a permalinks plugin or something like that. Yeah, over the years, it's like when a headache occurs and you're omitting manual action to this automated action, it's a pain in the ass because then your website is much larger and you've got a lot more work to do as far as auditing and fixing.
Yeah, Lucian, you got what is metadata? Because unfortunately, we have no other article on our website that's similar to Nick is a hairy little monster.
Although now I want to put it in there as like an Easter egg for anybody that sees this. Trust me, we have plenty of photos to accommodate.
It works pretty well though, like if the title is anywhere similar. So for example, if you had a or an article that was like, or if you typed in like Nick's affiliate case study, and then it would automatically take you to like, whatever our affiliate case study URL is, just because there's enough similar stuff in there.
Yeah. Or like Nick Carey or something like that. Like it
might take you to your author page
automatically.
maybe.
Like it's pretty
I'm a little
solid.
surprised it didn't take you to your author page, or maybe the author page is Nicholas. I'm not sure.
I feel like
maybe it's just too long.
It's kind of interesting. Like it definitely offed here as far as like what is metadata is.
I mean, there's just nothing similar really.
URL, yeah, no, well, but Nick, right?
Plus, it's a free plugin.
Yeah, but
there.
Is my name Nick author page or Nicholas?
I don't know. You'll have to look.
Me either. But if it was Nick, I would feel like it should have gone to that. So anyhow, that's just another reason to make sure that you're doing things manual if you feel like traffic is needed to be steered towards a specific topic. And that includes Google bots.
I'm sure their tech is a bit behind too. Maybe if they were using like GPT-4 LLM type stuff, it would be a little bit better. Because I found that it actually works pretty good for that kind of stuff. Finding something that's relevant. I actually use it for our YouTube process now for finding relevant stuff to link to, and it works really good. It's kind of crazy. I guess we talk about more about that later. But yeah, it's great for doing interlinking. So what does it mean when you pop on and off the main keyword SERP 6 times on and off in 2 to 3 months? Usually only for a day. It's high traffic, high comp. Back on now.
I've been feeling this lately.
I wonder how far on and off you're popping. Like, are you like, is it going to like not existing? Like you're not anywhere, and then you're like on page like 2 or 3 or 5 or?
If he's in the same camp of frustration that I'm thinking of when I read this question.
You talking about AI content woes?
Yeah, AI content mixed with like historical content that always ranked, that then after the last like let's say 2 or 3 quarter updates, it's almost like every few weeks I'm getting popped in, popped out, popped in, popped out, but not just a slight movement. I'm talking about popped in, popped out as far as I'm top 3, I'm out completely. I'm top 3, I'm out completely.
On the
And
actual
so,
SERP and not just your tracker?
yeah, yeah, in the actual SERP. And so what I've started to like mess with, especially like in these cases, has to do with like trust and then authority. If we're talking about like a EEAT specifically, trust and authority, from the perspective of making sure that you've got author pages, etc., that go back, and then that you have comparable amount of backlinks going to these inner pages with comparable amounts of anchor text ratios to that of your competitors. And in doing that, like I've noticed more stability, but versus how they used to lie, which was, like these pages were ranking no problem.
Weird that they
All of
would
a sudden
pop like
it's
that.
like,
We'd be
okay, we're
super
getting
high ranking and
kicked.
pop out.
It's so weird. But I think now, especially like, all right, purely based in theory, I feel like this is part of something that we've got to get used to as affiliate marketers, if that's what you are, which I assume that's what you are, but maybe you're not.
Maybe they're testing like your
Um,
old content for like for like
yeah,
helpful content kind of stuff. Like maybe
that
maybe it's
in
like some.
comparison to your competitors, yeah, yeah.
I could see it.
So you've got it tight, you keep doing what you're doing, keep interlinking. Interlinks definitely help stabilize, it seems. But yeah, I wish I had a more concrete answer, but I get the frustration.
I think what I would, I haven't really dealt with this problem, but one of the things I would look at, because I just feel like all the content problems these days, because I know the site wasn't having those problems before.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure the site that you're talking about, Nick,
Mm-hmm.
and now it is. So
Yeah,
it's basically something that Google's been changing, and Google's changes seem to all revolve around eat, like you said, and
Yeah,
also like helpful content. So I think what I'd be looking at is the helpful content type stuff, and just be honest with yourself.
yeah.
Is there too much fluff in this thing? Is it actually helpful? Is it actually adding like something unique to the conversation here, or am I just repeating a bunch of stuff? Um, I think that's kind of what I would be testing with. I know it's kind of scary to edit your articles. I don't like editing articles when they're in the top 3.
Well, yeah,
Um,
that's the thing too, though, is like, when you've got historical values, you're like, okay, well, these have been ranking forever.
yeah.
But then maybe you start manipulating a bit more. Maybe you already used, recalls from APIs that just pull information. Then maybe you extended that to a
Okay.
little bit of like AI maneuverability.
Okay, so I think we kind of see what's going
Yeah,
on
I
here,
don't know.
Nick.
I'm playing with fire. I know I am. However,
Have you seen that
I like
happen?
I have seen this with other people where it's like, especially after the last update, I feel like there's a confusion level to the algorithm that's
Could
going,
be.
okay, let's mess with
Uh,
everything in the SERPs, right? And so then go back in. So like my advice to you would be, go back in, look in these individual SERPs and see who's beating you out. And then try and conceptualize like, why are they beating you out? And then if it's the same as mine, you're back in within like 2, 3 days. The longest I had to wait was 1 week, or maybe like a week and a half, and all of a sudden all the rankings I lost were back, and that's without messing with anything. But that can also be a factor that they just kind of play in, and especially if you've got a lot of content rolling in all of a sudden, maybe with AI they don't really have a different way of kind of differentializing, you know the fact that you're manipulating that kind of content, because as we saw in Vietnam, Robert Nichol, who we're going to have on the podcast, was talking about how much it costs for Google to implement a change on their algorithm. that's going to actually like affect the way that search is digested according to their bots.
You're talking about
And
like
if you look at
detecting
that,
AI?
yeah,
Yeah,
detecting
it's
AI.
too crazy.
For right now, it's like, okay, well, the best they can do is kind of guesstimate and keep us on our toes by messing with us.
So he added more to the question here. He says, always been between ranking, I guess, 50 and 90. Site's 1 year old. Yeah, so
Oh,
between 50 and 90, you'll see things kind of pop off more.
yeah, they
Um,
don't matter.
I feel like it's kind of like, it's just, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's more natural. Like you're going from zero traffic to zero traffic. So yeah, I would focus more on getting up to like, page like 2. Once you're on like page 2 or whatever, that seems to be kind of when things start to get more real, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
Anything before that, they move around a lot. They can pop in and off, and yeah, just it's very different. And he says, yes, it's AI content. Um, Only a few, some
Yeah.
redirects, nothing else. Yeah, so if it's the AI content, we don't know what else is going on with your site. You just might be like super low authority, or you might not have enough topical authority. I don't know how your interlinking is, your on page, or any of that stuff. But probably just focus on getting to page 2 first before you worry about something like this. But yeah, if you're just copy and pasting AI content, that could definitely be a problem as far as helpful content goes. You might need to edit it a bit and improve it before trying to get it past, page 5 or whatever. Hopefully that helps. Let's see. I have been doing a keyword research for a keyword, and I've got very different traffic volumes for Canada compared to the US. This wasn't a trending topic. Do you think I just take into account the traffic volume for Canada even though it's 10 times lower? Or yeah, all the keyword research tools and traffic volumes, none of that, like it's all, even Google's estimates are pretty bad. Um, so you can't really rely on these numbers at all. What we kind of use the keyword traffic volume data for is relative. Like it's relative to like all the other keyword data. So you can see like one keyword has like a very big number versus another keyword that has a very small number. So I'd never really expect that exact amount of traffic, but you expect maybe somewhere in the ballpark, and then you know that it has a lot more search volume than this very small keyword. Versus trying to take it like as gospel or something. So yeah, different volumes for
Yeah,
Canada and the US. Huh?
wasn't it Kyle Roof that was talking about specifically going after these low end quote keywords, knowing that even though there wasn't traffic data, um, you knew just in your own head,
Mm-hmm.
within questions you asked, that there was data on people asking these
Yeah.
questions, right? And all of that's going to add up to the bigger silo, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah, so I don't really know why you think you need to like consider the traffic volume. Maybe you're just trying to know if it's like worthy to write about or not. Yeah, you just, kind of, in some cases, you just kind of have to use your old noggin, right? Are people going to want to search for this? And if they do, the traffic, the number that you're using on your tool doesn't really matter too much. Um, and yeah, he says, yes, he mentioned about zero traffic keywords. Yeah, we love low search volume keywords, especially for newer websites. But and not only newer websites, for all websites, because they can just help with
Yeah.
your topical authority anyway. And in a lot of cases, Google is just way off, and you can get great traffic from these low search volume things.
Not
Um,
only that, but it's like if you can imagine that you would ask the question, there's countless other people asking that exact same question, right? And like, so sometimes you're on the forefront of a idea that maybe there's not data to for a tool like Ahrefs, SEMrush, etc., right? So, don't ever downplay the ability for human intuition to be at the forefront of like what we're doing as SEOs.
But yeah, I mean, you also have to imagine that the traffic volume in Canada is obviously going to be very different from the traffic volume in the US. I mean, Canada has much smaller population than the US. So of course it's going to be smaller, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like things are kind of like relative with these things. So if you're seeing like, oh, it says like the US search volume is like very high compared to other keywords in the same kind of like topical area, then you would say, hey, that's probably a pretty dang good keyword. But again, you got to take these things kind of with a grain of salt anyway. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that makes some
Pretty
sense.
dang good keyword. You sound like a hillbilly
Pretty
all of a
dang good,
sudden.
man.
I like it.
All right, let's see. Is there a way to find out via SEO tools what my page is categorized as? There was some different content on the original site, so I am not sure exactly what niche Google sees it in. Yeah, I think Majestic does this, right?
Yeah,
We
they've
don't,
got
we
a
don't,
topical map
yeah, we don't really use
section.
Majestic. Are there any other
But it is
tools
a
in the world that
nice,
do this?
it is a nice, especially like the more we interview people and the more we get into the idea of like semantic mastery, the more I think that tool is actually pretty awesome in regards to using Majestic. It's not something that I've ever focused on before, but you can definitely dive into what you're asking for within Majestic. The rest of the tools, I don't know. Do you?
Sorry, say again. I was
I
just
yeah,
reading the
yeah
question
I
again.
don't know any other tools that I've used that really have like content clusters and things like that
Something that like
that you can
tells
really
you your
like
niche.
move through. Like
Yeah.
they give it to you in this like kind of, it looks like a little galaxy of words, let's say, and you can kind of maneuver through that within Majestic. So, I mean,
I
Majestic
mean,
is a
I
pretty cheap tool too. If this is something that you really want to dive into, I'd say that's a great tool for you to opt in for.
but yeah, I just kind of the way I just kind of look at things manually, right? I just look at the link profile and I look at historical content, and then I mean, that's pretty much go from there. But yeah, not quite sure if there's anything other than Majestic, but they definitely do it.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
Majestic would be like an extension of that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, what the permalink used to be, what backlinks are saying about it, and what does the content of those backlinks say about it.
yeah, and you can also look at like, their historical rankings. Like, what did they historically rank for? Um, so like in Ahrefs or whatever, you can go and you could check their organic keywords for a certain date and time or whatever. You can just set it way back on a date when they had a bunch of traffic or whatever, and just see what Google was allowing them to rank a lot for. And there's pretty much your answer. That's what Google thinks the site's about. Um, yeah, hopefully that helps. If posts go to page 2, 3 within a few days or a week of posting, but move up and down slightly on there, can they still get to the top of page 1 a month later, etc.? Or is this likely their final resting place without additional links content? Yeah, if something lands on page 2 or 3, in general, something's not just going to fly to page 1 without a reason. It's not going to be like, oh, Google's like read it a couple more times and now they think it really deserves to be on page 1.
Right.
It's normally going to, if you're landing on page 2 or 3, um, it generally means that the way I kind of see it is normally, okay, I did a good job writing the content. I don't have enough authority, like link authority. Um, or it could just be that for certain SERPs, and it generally involves high authority sites as well. For certain SERPs, Google, they like to see these like aged articles, right? And it doesn't have to be just domain authority as well. Like some of these pages might have like a ton of backlinks to the inner pages as well. So like why, why would you be able to come in with good content and just float to page one when these sites might have like, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 backlinks each? It just doesn't, there's just a lot more going on here than what your content is. But yeah, if you landed on page 2 or 3, I would expect that to be kind of like where Google's gonna place you. You might move around a little bit, but I wouldn't expect you to like fly onto page 1 or something without some kind of other work being done, most likely backlinks. But it just kind of depends on what the competition looks like. That'll be something you have to gauge yourself. And if everything on page 1 is like low competition or whatever, and that means low website authority and also very low to maybe no backlinks to any of the articles themselves, then you might be able to get on page 1 without any more backlinks, but maybe you need more topical authority, like more articles on your website about the same topic. Maybe your content could be improved, maybe more interlinking. Yeah, what do you think, Nick?
No, yeah, what you said is right. Ultimately it comes down to, if you get to page 2 or 3 right out of the gate, don't freak out. It means you're doing
No, it's good.
really fucking well.
Yeah, it's
And
good.
what you're missing is that there is competition for that particular SERP. And so then go in, look at what the competition is doing in comparison to you, whether that's backlinks, whether that's content, whether that, like any number of things, right? There's a lot of variables to look into. And then start emulating what they're doing and try and, move up. But it kind of reminds me of when I first started in SEO. I remember like I would get these page 2 or 3 rankings, and I had a business partner at the time. And we would go, fuck, they're keeping us sandboxed because we screwed up. We did something wrong. No, you didn't do anything wrong. Stay the course. You getting up there is tremendous. Start looking at what the competition is doing, start emulating that, and keep moving forward, right? With content creation, with backlinks. And eventually, it just means that there's a bit more fight left in the game. However, if you really automatically jump up to page 2, 3, there's a decent amount of trust factor from Google to you and the asset that you're trying to play.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, a lot of people are having trouble even just getting indexed.
Yeah.
So not only is your article getting indexed within a few days or a week, you're getting indexed and you're also going on page 2 or
Boom.
3.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
you're doing good.
Yeah.
You just have to look at the rest of the picture now and see what it is exactly that you're missing to get the rest of the way. All right. Yahoo backlinks, are they good? Is it worth to get them? How do you get them? I saw
Fiverr.
something like this, prlog.org. It's like a press release thing, but isn't it spammy since it mentions complimentary report with the links to where your release has appeared to approximately 100 sites? Or would it be a good idea for a viral campaign, or would it be better to outreach to niche websites that have their articles redistributed by Yahoo and ask them for a price? So actually, I'm not really familiar with Yahoo backlinks, but there's a lot to unpack here. Do you know about Yahoo backlinks?
So you can buy them off Fiverr. Okay. So
Okay, gotcha.
Fiverr.com, if you're not familiar with them, you can get these backlinks. You can also get a press release, which is what you're talking about. PR log, right? People will write a press release for you. They'll release it on PR log or something comparable. Quote, viral campaign. They're good links, but we
It's a
consider
press
them
release.
pillow links, right? Like, so
Yeah.
like at the beginning of a campaign, it's something that can give you a little bit of energy, not in the sense that you're gonna like shoot up to page 1, but that you're diversifying your backlink profile. It makes sense for a new business to want to get their name out there, and maybe it's not the most press worthy, like people are going to digest it, it's going to go viral kind of information. However, let's say you got a new website for your business. That's still something that's press worthy in the form of crawlers, right? So to me, cheap press releases are still something that's viable and still worthwhile, and Yahoo plays into that. Um, but it's not going to make you number one for the majority of SERPs that you're going after. And in
It's
relation,
still useful.
yeah, it's still useful because it helps diversify your backlink profile from the
Just do it
point of like
naturally,
anchor text. Yeah, exactly.
Link to your homepage. For anchor text, use a branded anchor, URL anchor, or whatever.
Yeah. And in relation to your like the last question that you got there, um, I don't know that you could actually reach out to Yahoo themselves and be like, hey, got this new
Well, I think he said the
website.
websites, the other websites, not Yahoo, but reach out to the websites that Yahoo distributes
Oh,
through.
it's not worthwhile. It's like I'm just gonna be honest, it's not worthwhile. If you want to take
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's
this
true.
press movement kind of like mentality to things, then look up a great Haro um press release kind of person where they're actually like talking to reporters, they're getting information out there. You've got to like they're digesting a bunch of information.
That's
Um,
more legit. You need some actual like
exactly.
news.
But even if you're doing Haro, I would still say that this press release is a great option as far as pillow linking. And if you don't know what pillow linking or foundational linking is, we've got articles on that. We got videos on that. Just type it into YouTube or our search bar on our website and, try and digest what that is. But I would say, conjunction. All of this together equals a narrative that Google is looking for that is extremely hard to emulate easily anyway. So,
But yeah, just to recap real quick. Like Nick said, we look at these things kind of like as pillow links. They're not going to like really like boost your rankings like a ton. They can definitely help a little bit,
yeah.
but yeah, don't look at it as like a main tool to use, right? You can use them every now and then. Don't overuse them for sure. If you start overusing these things, I just would not overuse them.
Cheap press
And
release, like once every 6 months max, if you're
yeah, maybe like
doing
once a
like
year.
solid backlinking campaigns. Yeah, once a year is much safer.
Like mentioned before, use natural anchors, branded anchors or URL anchors. Link to your homepage only. Don't try anything weird. Don't get aggressive with it. Um, and then, for the last question, uh, like Nick said, it's not worth just reaching out to these websites manually because, like we said, these links aren't very powerful on their own. So you're like wasting a ton of time to basically build like a single pillow link at a time. And then I think a lot of the answers from these websites that you're going to try to reach out to is going to be a flat no. They have
Well,
contracts with Yahoo that says you go through
they're
us to
also
get to do
they're
this. It's
also
the same thing with a lot of these like citation services. They go through only through I don't even remember. What was that one service that you have to like go through to get some of the citations? Um,
I think Yext was a big one.
yeah,
That was the
Yext.
one that I used to mess
It's like you
with, but
have to go through Yext
yeah.
to get this like awesome
But
citation.
that's the funny thing too is like
Same kind of deal.
if you reached out to these websites that took on your press release, the fact of the matter is there's no fucking person there. There's nothing there. It's a bot. Okay? Like these press releases are set up by a corporation. It says, "Hey, here it is. It's on what's called a wire, quote, a wire, and it just automatically syndicates to the wire." And that doesn't mean it's digested. That doesn't mean it's like put up forward on like the front page of that editorial. It just means like, okay, we took it on, yada yada, but it doesn't matter. There's no human interaction. So all of a sudden, if you're like reaching out and you're going, hey, I said I got this new website and I'm trying to like get it extend it to a like a better portion of the link or something, it's not worthwhile. Like you're not going to get anywhere because it's all bot driven. And that's the way majority of the internet works.
So this is, I mean, I don't remember if this is the same person who asked the original question, but here's an example of a Yahoo link and he was saying, I was looking at something like this, not really a press release. So this is kind of different. So I guess the question has different parts if it was asked by the same person. But this kind of looks more like a, like a PR link, or not press release, but what we'd actually call PR, like a PR link,
Yeah.
which is they're usually a bit like harder to land. I don't know how Yahoo works. Maybe it's easier to get these kind of links on Yahoo. Yeah, I'm not really sure
But
what section. Huh?
if you can get it, yeah, take it. That's a good link, right?
Yeah, I think this would be good to
Absolutely.
have.
Yeah.
Better than, this. I feel like this is going to be better than like a press release link. So yeah, don't get confused between, because some people when they say PR, they mean press release, but then there's like PR, which is usually like super high-end links on super high authority websites, which is what this looks more like. This looks more like a high-end PR link.
A
Um,
lot of them
but yeah, I'm not
start
sure.
at the same place. If you've got solid PR, and typically, like we're talking about black hat kind of movement here, at least at Sir Lancelot. Um, if you got solid PR, something that like can be digested, maybe go viral, then there's a higher chance of using a even cheap PR um, to get like a lot of movement. But it is incredibly rare, to the point where I think I only know one person that used a random PR strategy and got like movement in Vogue.com, etc.
I'm just having a little quick look. I mean, of course, yeah, the links are no follow. I just wanted to see if they were having them marked as like UGC or something too.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, looks like no follow. But yeah, this could be good.
Yeah,
Just
still a good link.
just
Good link.
depends. Yeah, it's not on a
Is it going to make
subdomain
you
or
number
anything,
one?
huh?
Mm. Is it going to make you number one? I don't know. But ultimately, like, right? When
Yeah,
we talk about link building,
if the price was right, I'd get it.
oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Let's see what we got. All right, guys. I think right here. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with this Yahoo stuff because then he says they took it from the original site, and as far as I understand, there is an RSS feed, and Yahoo takes the
Yeah.
articles from these websites.
They do. And then they give a hierarchy basically to what they think might go viral to a certain extent, right? Like so like there's like a trash level of PR that just comes through. Picture it like a river. And then there's streams above it where like people are fishing for topics that might get them a raise, for, for lack of a better understanding of how it works. But yeah, anybody can get through that major river, and if you get extended above that, that's a quality article. Harder to get. Harder to get is always better as far as backlinking goes.
Yes, ma'am. All right. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it there, guys, so we can get Nick out of here and he can get some rest. It doesn't look like we have any more questions right now. Well, actually, let's get these two more real fast.
Come
We'll
on.
do them real fast. Sorry, Nick.
All right. No, we're good.
Do you think
I'm gonna
there's
be I'm gonna be dead next 2 days, I think.
Do you think there's any value in Bitly links? I saw many big brands doing that on their social media. Not sure if it's something that's worth the time though. Wonder why the big brands are
I
using
mean,
Bitly links on their social
but
media, unless it's like an
Bitly is
affiliate
just a
link.
short Bitly is just a shortener.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they
So
would
it's like
use Bitly links
if you're
though.
talking about a link from Bitly, like their website, awesome, because it's gonna have a lot of authority.
No, I think
But if
they
you're talking
just
about just like a Bitly link,
had it.
it's just a shortener. Like there's nothing they're using it to shorten the value of the URL they're trying to link to, and
Yeah.
that's it.
I'm
Yeah.
just not sure
No,
why a big brand would
there's
be
no
using
use.
Bitly links on their own social media. Like,
Um,
are they like masking
so
their
so
own
that they
links?
don't. So if they're using affiliate links, for example, then shortened.
Yeah, but it's
If
a
they're
big brand. They're probably not
using,
using affiliate links.
I don't know, wirecutter.com, most expensive fucking affiliate enterprise that's ever existed, as far as I know, anyway. Um,
They use Bitly links to
they
link to
would
their
use
own
them.
website. I
I
guess
don't
I don't know what they're
I
linking
can't
to, but
answer that 100%, but if they're on social media and they're trying to shorten something and they're like, "Hey, check this new,
they
I
might be
don't know,
using it for tracking
project."
purposes or something.
Yeah.
Because I think you can use them for like tracking, a lot of like tracking stuff. Um,
Well, it's like it doesn't matter, right? Like, so like on Avant Link, for example, which is probably my favorite affiliate. They give you the option to use a Bitly link, and it's just a shortener.
but I'm pretty sure on Bitly, like you can just like set up like like you can just do like tracking of like any link you make on Bitly. Um,
Oh, probably.
so that might be what they're using for. But as far as like SEO value goes,
Yeah.
there's no SEO value. It's literally just like making the URL shorter, and then you can like track. You can use it for like
Yeah.
tracking clicks and stuff, and just seeing what's going on. Um, but yeah, as far as SEO value goes, it's not something. It's not a thing.
No.
And I think this will be the last one here. What do you think about the big news websites where the guest posts have a dedicated URL slug category where all guest posts are posted? I saw a big brand having success by doing it regularly, but this was in a non-English country. And as you said, you can be more spammy considering Google is fine-tuned for English. So, if I'm getting guest posts, I don't want them to be in some kind of category like that. Um, I don't want anything indicating that the thing that I got, the link that I got, has been paid for. I want it to look like it's an actual endorsement from that website for my brand, my company, my website, my article, whatever. So I don't want anything like that. Not to say that these things still can't help your SEO. I would just stay away from it as much as possible. You might see some things like that around. I wouldn't try to like formulate a link building strategy off of that. If it's like your own website, then yeah, you could do something like that, like you're selling guest posts or whatever. But yeah, it's something I kind of would stay away from. Not because I think it's like super dangerous or whatever. I just think it kind of lessens the value, and yeah, basically gives the game away to Google a little bit. Kind of be like the same as having like a sponsored post tag or whatever, something like that. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, ultimately, it's like if you're diversifying your backlink portfolio and you know what you're doing, sure. If you're looking for extra backlinks, you can get this thing cheap, then go ahead and do it. But if you're not and you're looking for efficiency, let's say, and this is something you're considering, just stay away from it because, yeah, ultimately you're putting your website in this risk area where everybody's paying for a backlink, and ultimately we know that is not kosher with Google. So yeah, best to not play.
Hi, Kushagra. But yeah, you're kind of late. We'll be taking off here in just a second. But okay, last question for sure. By the way, great work, guys. Have you gotten access to ChatGPT plugins yet? If so, any thoughts? Are there any new SEO opportunities or same? Yeah, we just talked about with this with Israel on the podcast last night. But yeah, we don't have access to the plugins yet. I'm mainly just using ChatGPT, like the actual ChatGPT Plus, like in the ChatGPT thing. I don't use the API as much. I don't use Playground as much. I'm pretty much just using ChatGPT for the most part, and GPT-4 as much as possible. But I'm still not using it like as much as some other people. But if I was using it more, I would just call through uh, the API and go to something like Better GPT, like Israel does, and yeah, just use GPT-4 there. Um, but yeah, no plugins yet. As far as any SEO opportunities, things are kind of crazy right now, you know?
For
um,
sure.
as far as opportunities go, I feel like there's a ton of opportunity right now, but there's a lot of opportunity to also end up wasting a lot of your time. That's kind of the way things are when big shifts in the market happen like this. You could strike gold or you could go home broke, you know? So it just kind of,
It's not even
uh,
it's not even like a big shift in the market.
I
It's
think
a
it's a big shift
big
in everything,
shift
the
in the
world.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I mean
the
like
world market.
things are changing.
Yeah.
And
I just saw IBM is going to replace 8,000 jobs with AI, which, like, think about
yeah.
that. This is what's
Yeah.
coming. What's going to happen
Yeah.
when
And
GPT-5
that's at the
comes?
forefront. We're at the golden age, right? Like, and this is what's happening. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's,
Figure out a job with AI.
yeah.
Hold on to that, right? I
But
mean,
then AI is going to be also changing very rapidly as well. And like AI jobs that are going to exist one day are going to go out of existence when the next like platform comes out and stuff, or stuff like Better
yeah.
G or Auto GPT and stuff get better. But we'll see. But as far as SEO opportunities go, um, yeah, kind of the same deal. A lot of people really like ecom. A lot of people really like, there's just, it just really depends like what direction you want to go in. Um, we talked to Israel a bit about this last night, and I was kind of saying, a lot of people are saying you might want to stay away from informational ads-based websites. Um, Israel doesn't think that it's as big of a deal. I still kind of think it's a big deal. If there was one thing I would stay away from, it might be kind of that type of website that's monetized purely on ads. I've heard more people talking about lead gen these days, which is kind of cool. Um, so yeah, lead gen, ecom, affiliate, of course, client SEO. Um, yeah, as far as like new opportunities go, unless you're like doing something like it's really like AI based, like providing like an AI based tool or like content service or something, everything else is kind of same as far except for me saying stay away from ads. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah. What I liked about talking to Israel earlier was don't worry about it too much. Get in there.
Yeah,
There are two primary things in SEO: content creation and
backlinks.
off-page factors, which is backlinking. You get good at those two things, then you figure out how to do anything with AI that helps you do your job. You are taking an advantage that most people aren't even looking at this point in time. So always remember that we're in the golden era of AI, but at the same time, there's plenty of opportunity to kind of like strike gold in SEO. Like a lot of people talk about like what is SEO dead, etc. No,
No,
I don't feel that way at all. Right?
no,
Like you don't either, right?
no, definitely
No.
not.
There's plenty to do, and it all revolves around content creation and backlinking, essentially. So if you can kind of wrap your head around those two things and then see what opportunities exist with the landscape that's available to you today, yeah, I think you're in a good
I
position.
would also say this. I would, my advice would be whatever direction you go in, focus on building a brand. And what this will do is it'll diversify your traffic sources so you're not relying on just organic traffic. You can do social media, you can do a YouTube channel, you're doing email, you're doing all this other stuff, right? And yeah, so I consider myself, we talk about SEO all day and our focus is SEO, but really we build online businesses
Brands,
and
yeah,
brands, yeah. And there's just a lot more to it than just SEO, right? And
yeah,
so, one of the advantages, besides it diversifying everything, and beside, not only does it diversify your traffic and your income, but it also is better for ranking because Google likes brands. They see you're doing all this other stuff. It's kind of like eat in a way. But also, it forces you to learn all of this other stuff as well, right? And basically, the more stuff you're aware of on the internet right now, because we are going through a period of massive change and it's not going to stop. But just by being out on the internet and playing the game and all of these other areas, you're going to see how things are moving. You're going to be there when things shift and change. You're going to be there and you're going to understand how everything is currently working. And so when new opportunities are created, you're already there. You're already there and you understand how the game is being played at that point in time. From there, you can decide if it's a new opportunity you want to jump on or not. Um,
yeah.
Versus, if you're relying purely on organic traffic, you might just see your market, you might just see basically your market just like shrink over time, which is not something you want to see. And that's a possibility with AI. But like we were talking about Israel, we don't necessarily think that's going to happen. But we can't say it can't happen or it
Soon
won't
anyway.
happen.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
there's
so
time.
I would just say build a brand, focus on everything, be an online businessman, and try to use AI as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that can really be your advantage and things. Um, and
That's
yeah, hopefully,
funny. When I first started SEO, I remember thinking, I'm not gonna worry about like how quality my content is. I'm not gonna worry about anything. It's just like so long as I get these top three positions, everything is kosher and I'm gonna make fucking money. And the fact of the matter is that's not the way it works. And the more you focus on everything that Chris was just talking about, which is your brand, you've got millions of opportunities in the sense of, okay, I can focus on social media, try and make things go viral. I can focus on ads, try and make things really like identify with a certain person. I can focus on page factors, make somebody, CTR fucking matter so much more. But the more you care about the brand that you're building, the more extension you have to kind of manipulate whatever's going on and make money off the endeavor of what is quote SEO. But it's more than SEO. It's exactly what Chris was saying, brand building. You're doing that.
yeah. And then, and so not only is there, lots of opportunity in building the brand itself, but then you just feel like more like insulated. So it's like, okay, well, SEO takes a hit. Well,
Yeah,
I'm in the business
good
of
to
making
go.
money online. I'm not an SEO only. I make money on the internet. And once you're playing that game, the game's a little bit different. And um, yeah, opportunity is still everywhere. You're still gonna have to pick a direction that you want to focus on and whatnot. I'm sorry. And a lot of that opportunity, it's hard to say like what's better than what. A lot of it comes down to like personal preference, what you like doing. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, same old, but not same old to answer your question. But yeah, still lots of opportunity out
Yeah,
there for sure.
very much so.
And yeah, I don't see opportunity on the internet going away anytime soon. Like, and
No,
that, so yeah, anyway, I think we've kind of just gone in circles now, but hopefully that
no, but
helps.
you're right. Yeah, you're good to go.
Um, all right. Lucian says, thank you
That's
very
it.
much for your
I gotta get out of here.
answers. Yeah, you're welcome, Lucian. And yeah, thanks for being more active in the group lately. I'm not sure when you joined. I think you're kind of
Yeah, I
newer to the
saw
group,
you.
but saw you giving some pretty insane answers in there. And
He gave the long
yeah,
answer to the new, yeah,
yeah.
solid, solid move.
And
I like it.
we almost gave you the award this month, but someone kind of edged you out. That was also someone we hadn't given an award at the prize to before. So yeah, keep it up, man. You'll probably get it this next
Hmm.
month, unless someone else doesn't step on it and just clean your clock, huh? Um, all right.
Competition is getting high in SEO Roundtable.
I'll just answer this real quick. Someone wants to start an AI
God
related
damn it,
website.
Chris.
Just there's a lot of people doing AI related stuff right now, man. There's a lot of eyeballs on AI. It's going to be high competition. Uh, more than starting a
High
website,
competition, high experimentation.
more than starting a website, unless
Both.
you're really planning on it for the long haul and you really know exactly what you're doing on the website, I might concentrate on something different, like maybe like short form video or ads or social media type stuff. 'Cause, website's kind of a bigger project that can take a lot of time and yeah, I don't know. I just it's high competition. That's all I can really say. All right, guys, we're gonna take off. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you next week. We're good next week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, solid.
Cool. Probably next week, probably same time, 10 p.m. Central. And yeah, until then, you can join us in our Facebook group, SEO Roundtable. We're in there every day answering questions, giving tips, and all that good stuff. And yeah, podcast with Israel Gaudet coming out on Tuesday. Definitely going to want to see that. Awesome chat with an awesome dude with a large brain that makes a lot of money doing
That
SEO.
was fun.
And
He's a nice guy.
yep.
Nice guy.
All right, guys,
I like
we'll
him.
see you next